It was after midnight when the door came down. Inside the apartment, Breonna Taylor was still in her pajamas. Within seconds, bullets tore through the walls. When it was over, she was dead. And for years, no one was held responsible. Breonna Taylor was a 26-year-old emergency medical technician living in Louisville, Kentucky. She worked long shifts in hospitals, helping save lives, and was building a future in healthcare. On the night of March 12, 2020, she returned home and went to bed with her boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, unaware that her apartment had been placed on a police target list. That same night, Louisville Metro Police were conducting a narcotics investigation connected to a man who had previously been in a relationship with Breonna Taylor. The man no longer lived with her, and police had already arrested him earlier that evening at a completely different location. Despite this, officers proceeded with a search warrant for Taylor's apartment. Just after midnight on March 13th, plainclothes officers arrived at her door. The warrant authorized a forced entry. What happened next would later be heavily disputed and remain at the center of the case. Police stated they knocked and announced themselves as law enforcement. Kenneth Walker and multiple neighbors later said they heard loud banging, but did not hear police identify themselves. Inside the apartment, Walker believed someone was breaking in. When the door was forced open, Walker fired a single shot from his legally owned handgun. The bullet struck one officer in the leg. Police immediately returned fire. Dozens of rounds were discharged into the apartment. Breonna Taylor was struck multiple times. She collapsed in the hallway and died at the scene. She never fired a weapon. No drugs were found in the apartment. In the immediate aftermath, police reports contained serious inaccuracies, including a claim that Breonna Taylor had no injuries. Those statements were later corrected, but the damage to public trust had already begun. Kenneth Walker was arrested and charged with attempted murder of a police officer. Those charges were later dropped after authorities acknowledged that he believed intruders were breaking into the home. For months, no officers were charged for Breonna Taylor's death. As the year 2020 continued, her killing became a national flashpoint. Breonna Taylor's name was repeated during protests across the United States as millions demanded accountability for police violence. Her death became a symbol of aggressive policing tactics and the dangers of no-knock raids. Later that year, a Kentucky grand jury indicted one officer, Brett Hankison. The charges were not for killing Breonna Taylor. Instead, he was charged with wanton endangerment for firing shots that entered neighboring apartments. The two officers whose bullets struck Breonna Taylor were not charged. In 2022, Hankison went on trial in state court. He was acquitted on all counts. Once again, no one was held criminally responsible for Taylor's death. Public anger intensified. Federal authorities then stepped in. The U.S. Department of Justice filed civil rights charges, alleging that Hankison violated Breonna Taylor's constitutional rights during the raid. The case moved to federal court. In 2023, Hankison's first federal trial ended in a mistrial after jurors failed to reach a unanimous verdict. The case did not end there. In 2024, prosecutors tried the case again. This time, a federal jury found Hankison guilty on one count of violating Breonna Taylor's civil rights. It was the first conviction of any officer connected to the raid, nearly 5 years after her death. In 2025, the case reached its final stage, sentencing. Federal prosecutors recommended a sentence of just 1 day in prison, arguing that Hankison's bullets did not strike Breonna Taylor directly. The recommendation triggered widespread outrage. In July 2025, a federal judge rejected that recommendation. The judge ruled that a minimal sentence would undermine the seriousness of conviction. Hankison was sentenced to 33 months in federal prison, followed by supervised release. The legal process ended there. Breonna Taylor's family received a civil settlement from the city of Louisville, and local laws were changed to restrict the use of no-knock warrants. But no officer was ever convicted for directly causing her death. Like and subscribe for more videos.